Today's video is super exciting because what I am sharing with you is probably the most transformational thing that I have done in 2025, and that is to implement a morning routine that prioritizes my creative writing projects. A little bit of background about me. I've wanted to be a published author since forever, and I have achieved my dream of becoming a full-time writer, but I actually work as a healthcare writer. Very different than being a novelist, and I found that it's really hard to juggle the healthcare writing and then my own personal writing projects. Over the years, I just kind of started to feel a little bit sick of not prioritizing my own projects, and I used to work on my client work first, so doing the healthcare writing first, and then told myself the lie that I would work on my novel writing in the evenings once all the work I was getting paid to do was complete, or I would work on it on the weekends. I never worked on it in the evenings. I did work on it on the weekends, but I found two issues with that. The first is that because I was just working on it on Saturdays and Sundays, I would kind of forget what had happened and what I had last written, and so the progress wasn't being made super quickly. And then also, if I'm being honest, it was really hard to get myself out of bed in the mornings. During weekdays, I found myself pressing snooze more often, being just super reluctant to get up. And since I've incorporated a weekday writing routine, like creative writing routine, I have found it so much easier to get out of bed. It's honestly probably one of the things that makes me happiest during my day. And so I thought I would share with you all today kind of the routine that finally allowed me to reprioritize my creative writing projects even while working full-time. Without further ado, let's get into the video, but a quick warning that this morning routine starts with a 5:24 a.m. wake up. Why 5:24 a.m.? Because I think it's just kind of fun to not wake up at 5:30 or like 5:15 and to wake up at kind of like a little bit of a wild time. Adds a little bit of chaos into the day. So the morning routine starts at 5:30, and even though I said I was excited to get out of bed, it does sometimes take me a little bit to wake up. So while I'm doing this, I make my coffee. I add 2 espresso shots to a coffee mug. I don't know what else I would add it to. I love the smell of coffee when I wake up in the morning, but I don't actually drink it right away because I don't love the idea of drinking coffee on an empty stomach. Instead, I put it in the fridge where it can cool down, and in about a half an hour, I'll take it out and then add in some ice. But now what I do next is I make breakfast, and I'm a huge believer in eating protein first thing in the morning. So my breakfast always includes eggs. I basically make the exact same dish every single day. And it is an egg wrap with mushrooms, sometimes spinach, but I was out of spinach this day, and then a little bit of mozzarella cheese. I roll it all up into a tortilla shell. While I'm making breakfast and my coffee and eating it, I usually listen to an audiobook. Right now I'm listening to The Switch by Beth O'Leary. After breakfast, I spend a little bit of time journaling. This is just a great way to kind of reflect on whatever I'm feeling that day, to maybe reset my mood if I'm feeling a little bit anxious, and also just to kind of clarify what sort of ideas and what I want to write this particular day. After journaling, it's time to get that coffee back out of the fridge, add in some ice because iced coffee is just so elite. Literally always prefer it, even in the dead of winter. And I'll also add in a splash of milk and mix that up. And now it's time for the magic to happen, aka writing time. So this is what the desk setup looks like. I'm gonna run you through it because I feel like for the first time in my entire life, I finally have like a desk that works and is super comfortable. So starting off in the corner here, we have 2 notebooks because I am obsessed with writing things down, and we have my glasses because unfortunately I need them to see the computer screen. Next up is our trusted coffee and water bottle, and then of course behind it, the desk monitor, keyboard, mouse, and AirPod headphones, of course, for music when writing. Last but not least, we have the computer, which we plug in. And now, if it'll turn on, we are ready for business. So now that we've gone over what my desk looks like, let's get into the actual writing routine. I usually start writing first thing in the morning, which at this time of year means that it is dark outside. So my goal is to get seated at my desk by 6:30 a.m. Sometimes I get there earlier, sometimes I get there a little bit later, but that's around the time that I like to get there. Usually I'll orient myself back into the notes of whatever I was working on before. My goal when I'm drafting is to write 1,500 words per day. If I'm revising, I just have like set goals, which in my mind is the equivalent of writing 1,500 words. Usually I can do this in an hour and 30 minutes, so my writing time is 6:30 to 8 a.m. Some days, obviously, the words flow easier than others, but I really try to really be aggressive and intentional during this time. And then the sun usually has risen by the time I'm done, and the coffee is also gone. So it's time for me to get dressed in normal clothes, aka not pajamas, and start on work for the day. A lot of times I'll move my desk up to standing position just to kind of cue that we're changing up what we are working on. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Obviously, this routine is definitely my ideal. I don't do it every single day. Some days I sit down and the words come out really quickly and I write over 1,500 words. Other days it is quite the struggle. I've also found that I have a sweet spot of doing this routine 4 out of 5 days during the week, and then also kind of mixing up my routine on the weekends just so the weekends feel a little bit fresh, even though I still spend a lot of my weekend writing. That's just the routine that works for me, and having that kind of one slack day makes it easier to like either fit in a workout if I'm really busy during the day and can't fit in my workout later, or to just kind of relax, maybe read a bit, have a more chill morning. If my mental health isn't great one morning, I can kind of focus on that instead of focusing on writing. So it isn't something that I do every single day, but aiming to do it 4 out of 5 days is a really great goal for me. Depending on what your lifestyle is, that could look different. It could look like trying to make time to write every day, but writing fewer words than I do, or maybe doing this routine 2 times a week. Whatever it is, really take this just as inspiration and customize it to whatever routine works best for you.